What if the most extraordinary place in Indonesia is the one the world still overlooks? There are places that capture your attention, then there are places that capture your soul. What if I told you that one of Indonesia's most breathtaking regions is not defined by skyscrapers, luxury resorts, or crowded tourist attractions, but by ancient volcanoes, centuries of faith, resilient people, and islands where the sea has shaped every generation? Welcome to East Flores Regency, one of the most remarkable destinations in eastern Indonesia. A land where fire rises from the earth, the ocean stretches endlessly to the horizon, and history lives in every village. This is not just another regency on a map. This is one of Indonesia's greatest hidden treasures. Located in the province of East Nusa Tenggara, East Flores Regency was officially established on August 9, 1958, under Law No. 69 of 1958, during Indonesia's early years of regional development. For more than 6 decades, this regency has stood as a bridge between history, culture, faith, and nature. Today, nearly 290,000 people proudly call East Flores home. According to Statistics Indonesia, the population reached approximately 289,881 people by the end of 2024. Yet, despite its growing population, East Flores remains one of Indonesia's least explored regions, preserving traditions and landscapes that have remained authentic for generations. What makes East Flores truly unique is that it is not a single piece of land. Instead, it is an extraordinary collection of islands connected by the sea. The regency consists of 3 major regions: the eastern tip of Flores Island, where the capital city of Larantuka is located, Adonara Island, and Solor Island. Together, these islands create a maritime civilization where communities have depended on the ocean for centuries, building lives around fishing, farming, trade, and faith. Every sunrise here begins over the sea. Every sunset reminds you how closely life is connected with nature. At the heart of East Flores lies Larantuka, a city unlike any other in Indonesia. Long before Indonesia became an independent nation, Larantuka was already an important kingdom. It served as the center of the historic kingdom of Larantuka, one of the few kingdoms in Southeast Asia strongly influenced by Portuguese Catholic traditions. More than 4 centuries ago, Portuguese missionaries and traders arrived on these shores. Their influence transformed Larantuka into one of the oldest centers of Catholicism in Indonesia. Today, churches, ancient religious traditions, Portuguese heritage, and local customs continue to coexist in remarkable harmony. Perhaps nowhere is this more visible than during the famous Holy Week celebrations. Every year, thousands of pilgrims travel to Larantuka to witness one of Asia's oldest and most sacred Easter processions. For generations, families have preserved rituals that combine local culture with centuries-old Catholic traditions. It is not simply a festival, it is living history. Geographically, East Flores is breathtaking in scale. The regency covers an impressive area of nearly 5,983 square kilometers. But what surprises many people is that most of this area is not land. Only around 1,813 square kilometers consist of land. More than 4,170 square kilometers are ocean. This means the sea defines East Flores as much as its mountains do. Its waters connect islands, sustain communities, and create one of Indonesia's richest maritime environments. The coastline stretches through countless bays, beaches, and small islands that remain largely untouched by mass tourism. Crystal clear waters, coral reefs, and traditional fishing villages reveal an Indonesia that many travelers have never experienced. Standing on the eastern edge of Flores Island, you quickly realize this landscape was shaped by powerful natural forces. Mountains rise dramatically from the coastline. Steep hills overlook the ocean. Volcanic ridges dominate the horizon. This is because East Flores sits directly within Indonesia's Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the world's most active volcanic regions. 4 active volcanoes define the landscape. Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki rises 1,584 meters above sea level. Beside it stands Mount Lewatobi Perempuan, reaching 1,703 meters. Together, they form one of Indonesia's most iconic twin volcanoes. Their names, meaning male Lewatobi and female Lewatobi, symbolize balance, duality, and harmony in local culture. Further across the region stand Mount Lerabeleng at 1,117 meters and Mount Ilaboleng on Adonara Island at 1,659 meters. These volcanoes are more than geological features. They are part of daily life. Their fertile volcanic soils support agriculture. Their towering peaks inspire legends passed down through generations. And their constant presence reminds local communities of nature's incredible power. East Flores is a land of dramatic contrasts. Some areas consist of flat coastal plains, others rise into rolling hills. Many regions become steep mountain slopes where only the most determined farmers cultivate the land. Across the Regency, landscapes range from gentle terrain to extremely steep volcanic mountains. This challenging geography has shaped the character of its people. Communities here have learned resilience. They have adapted to difficult terrain, changing weather, and the realities of living alongside active volcanoes. Life here has never been easy, but it has always been meaningful. Climate also plays an important role in shaping East Flores. Unlike many tropical regions with abundant rainfall throughout the year, East Flores experiences a tropical savanna climate. There are only 2 distinct seasons, the dry season and the rainy season. From June through September, dry monsoon winds blow northward from Australia. These winds carry very little moisture. As a result, the region experiences months with little rainfall. Then, between December and March, humid winds arrive from Asia and the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Rain finally returns. These seasonal changes have defined agriculture, water management, and daily life for generations. Only about 4 months of the year are considered relatively wet. The remaining 8 months are comparatively dry. Because of this, East Flores faces recurring drought challenges almost every year. Yet despite these harsh conditions, local communities continue to cultivate crops, raise livestock, and build sustainable ways of living through generations of traditional knowledge. Their resilience is one of East Flores' greatest strengths. The surrounding seas are just as important as the land itself. To the north lies the Flores Sea. To the south stretches the vast Savu Sea. To the east are the Boleng Strait and the Lamakira Strait, connecting East Flores with neighbouring Lembata Regency. To the west lies Sika Regency. These waters have never acted as barriers. Instead, they have connected cultures, facilitated trade, and supported maritime traditions for centuries. Traditional wooden boats continue to sail between islands, carrying people, goods, and stories from one generation to the next. Perhaps the greatest beauty of East Flores cannot be measured in square kilometers, population statistics, or mountain heights. It is measured in resilience. It is measured in faith. It is measured in communities that continue to preserve traditions while embracing the future. Here, history is not locked inside museums. It lives inside homes. It lives inside churches. It lives inside ceremonies. It lives inside songs carried across the sea. Every island tells a different story. Every village protects a unique cultural identity. Every mountain reminds people of nature's strength. and every sunrise over the Flores Sea offers another chance to begin again. East Flores may never become the busiest tourist destination in Indonesia. Perhaps that is exactly what makes it extraordinary. It remains authentic, it remains peaceful, it remains deeply connected to its roots. In a rapidly changing world, places like East Flores remind us that true greatness is not always measured by fame. Sometimes greatness is found in quiet resilience, in ancient traditions, in breathtaking landscapes, in people who continue to smile despite droughts, volcanic activity, and the challenges of island life. So the next time someone asks where Indonesia's true hidden gems are, remember this name, East Flores, a land where volcanoes touch the clouds, where 3 islands become one identity, where centuries of history continue to shape the present, where faith and culture remain inseparable, and where the spirit of Indonesia shines brighter than ever. Because some places are visited, but places like East Flores are remembered forever. For centuries, the people of East Flores have lived in harmony with an environment that demands both courage and wisdom. The sea feeds them, the mountains protect them, the volcanoes remind them that nature is both generous and unpredictable. This relationship has shaped a society built on resilience, cooperation, and respect for the natural world. Every fishing trip depends on reading the tides. Every harvest depends on understanding the seasons. Every family grows up knowing that survival has always required patience, hard work, and unity. These are not lessons found in textbooks. They are lessons passed from grandparents to grandchildren through everyday life. Across the Regency, agriculture remains one of the foundations of the local economy. Despite the long dry season, farmers continue cultivating corn, cassava, rice, coconuts, candle nuts, and various tropical crops adapted to East Flores' challenging climate. Generations have developed traditional farming techniques that maximize limited rainfall while preserving the fertility of volcanic soils. Along the coast, fishing communities continue traditions that have existed for hundreds of years. Before sunrise, wooden boats quietly leave the shoreline. Fishermen navigate waters their ancestors knew long before modern maps existed. These seas provide tuna, mackerel, squid, reef fish, and countless other marine resources that support thousands of families. The ocean is not simply a workplace, it is part of their identity. The biodiversity surrounding East Flores is equally extraordinary. Coral reefs flourish beneath crystal clear waters. Colourful tropical fish weave through underwater gardens. Sea turtles occasionally appear along quiet coastlines. Dolphins can sometimes be seen swimming through open waters between the islands. For divers and marine enthusiasts, these waters remain among Indonesia's least explored natural treasures. Unlike more crowded destinations, much of East Flores still offers an experience that feels untouched. Nature here has not been overwhelmed by mass tourism. Instead, it continues to exist much as it has for generations. The landscapes are equally unforgettable. Steep green mountains descend dramatically toward turquoise seas. Volcanic peaks dominate distant horizons. Hidden beaches emerge between rocky cliffs. Traditional villages rest quietly among coconut palms and rolling hills. From above, the 3 main islands appear like emerald jewels floating across deep blue waters. Every viewpoint offers a reminder that Indonesia is one of the most geographically diverse nations on Earth. East Flores is also home to remarkable cultural diversity. Although united as one regency, every island possesses its own traditions, dialects, ceremonies, and customs. Communities have carefully preserved local languages that continue to be spoken alongside Indonesian. Traditional dances celebrate harvests, weddings, and important community gatherings. Music created with indigenous instruments continues to accompany ceremonies that connect present generations with their ancestors. These traditions remain alive because local communities continue practicing them, not because they are performed only for visitors. One of the strongest values shared throughout East Flores is mutual cooperation. Neighbours help build homes. Families work together during planting and harvest seasons. Communities unite whenever disaster strikes or assistance is needed. This spirit of solidarity has become essential in a region where natural challenges are part of everyday life. Living near active volcanoes requires constant awareness. Communities have learned to monitor volcanic activity while maintaining respect for the mountains they have lived beside for centuries. When eruptions occur, resilience becomes more than an inspiring word. It becomes a necessity. Families adapt. Communities rebuild. Life continues. This quiet determination defines the people of East Flores far more than any statistic ever could. Education has also continued expanding across the Regency. Schools, universities, and vocational institutions provide opportunities for young people to pursue higher education while preserving pride in their local heritage. Many young residents leave temporarily to study or work elsewhere in Indonesia. Yet countless others return home, bringing new knowledge that contributes to the future development of their communities. They understand that progress does not require abandoning tradition. Instead, true progress allows history and innovation to grow together. Infrastructure has gradually improved over the years, strengthening connections between islands through ports, ferry services, and transportation networks. These improvements have made education, healthcare, commerce, and tourism increasingly accessible while supporting economic growth throughout the Regency. Even so, many areas continue to preserve the peaceful rhythm of island life. There are still villages where life begins with the sound of waves instead of traffic, where evenings are illuminated more by stars than city lights, where conversations happen face-to-face rather than through screens. This slower pace reminds visitors that happiness is often found in simplicity. East Flores also represents one of Indonesia's frontiers for sustainable tourism. Travelers who arrive here are rewarded not with luxury shopping malls or crowded entertainment districts, but with authentic experiences. They discover untouched beaches, ancient churches, volcanic landscapes, traditional fishing villages, local cuisine prepared using recipes passed through generations, and perhaps most importantly, genuine hospitality. Visitors are welcomed not as strangers but as honoured guests. That warmth leaves an impression long after the journey ends. As Indonesia continues developing into one of the world's fastest growing nations, regions like East Flores demonstrate that development is not only measured by tall buildings or economic statistics, it is also measured by the preservation of culture, the protection of nature, the strength of communities, and the ability to inspire future generations without losing the wisdom of the past. East Flores stands as living proof that extraordinary places do not need to be famous to be unforgettable. Sometimes, the greatest stories are hidden beyond the destinations that dominate travel brochures. Sometimes, the strongest people live far from the world's attention. Sometimes, the most breathtaking beauty exists where the map begins to fade into endless blue ocean. And perhaps that is exactly why East Flores continues to capture the hearts of everyone fortunate enough to experience it. Because this is more than a destination. It is a lesson in resilience, a celebration of heritage, a masterpiece sculpted by volcanoes, surrounded by the sea, and sustained by generations who have never stopped believing in the place they proudly call home. Imagine standing on a quiet shoreline just before sunrise. The sky slowly changes from deep blue to brilliant gold. Fishing boats begin appearing on the horizon. The sound of waves gently reaches the shore. Behind you, towering volcanic mountains watch silently over the land. In front of you, an endless ocean stretches toward the horizon. This is not a dream. This is everyday life in East Flores. There is something profoundly humbling about a place where nature still sets the rhythm of life. The clock does not determine when fishermen sail, the sea does. The calendar does not decide when farmers plant, the rain does. The mountains do not simply decorate the landscape, they shape every generation that grows up beneath them. Living in East Flores means understanding that every blessing comes with responsibility. The fertile volcanic soil that nourishes crops exists because of powerful geological forces beneath the earth. The rich marine ecosystem that feeds thousands of families survives only because generations have respected the ocean rather than exploited it. This balance between humanity and nature has allowed East Flores to preserve much of its extraordinary beauty. In many parts of the world, modernization has erased local identity. Ancient traditions disappear. Historic architecture gives way to concrete buildings. Local languages slowly fade into memory. But East Flores continues to protect the values that define its people. Children still grow up hearing stories told by their elders. Traditional ceremonies remain an essential part of community life. Religious celebrations continue attracting families who have participated in them for generations. Culture here is not preserved inside museums. It is woven into everyday life. Walk through one of the villages and you will quickly notice something different. People greet one another warmly. Neighbors know each other's families. Children play outside until sunset. The sense of community remains remarkably strong. In an age where many societies struggle with isolation, East Flores reminds us of the power of human connection. No one succeeds alone. Everyone belongs to something greater than themselves. This spirit becomes especially important during difficult times. East Flores has experienced volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, droughts, and other natural disasters throughout its history. Each challenge has tested the strength of its communities. Yet, each time, the people have rebuilt together. They have shared food, sheltered displaced families, protected one another, and continued moving forward with extraordinary determination. Their resilience is not loud. It does not seek attention. It simply refuses to surrender. That quiet strength deserves the world's respect. East Flores also holds enormous potential for the future. Its breathtaking coastlines, volcanic landscapes, marine biodiversity, and rich cultural heritage make it one of Indonesia's most promising destinations for sustainable tourism. Unlike destinations overwhelmed by overcrowding, East Flores still offers something increasingly rare: authenticity. Travelers can experience peaceful villages where traditions remain unchanged. They can hike volcanic mountains that dominate spectacular landscapes. They can explore remote islands surrounded by crystal clear waters. They can witness centuries-old religious traditions that exist nowhere else on Earth. Most importantly, they can meet people whose kindness leaves a lasting impression. Economic opportunities continue to grow as infrastructure improves and connectivity strengthens across the region. New generations are embracing education, entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation, while remaining deeply connected to their cultural roots.